This is a piece of preformed aquamarine, which I got came from Nigeria. I don't normally buy preformed rough. The reason is you don't know why they preformed it and didn't go ahead and cut it. And so generally I pass on preforms, but I did buy one small lot, and this is the final piece of the preformed rough. And it's 2.445 carats. Because it's a preform, I won't lose a lot of rough, a lot of carat weight as I cut this. So this is the aquamarine that I'm going to cut. Since this piece of aquamarine rough is somewhat shaped like a kite, I'll use the kite shaped design called Flight of Blue by the late Jeff Graham to cut this gemstone. And this is how the aquamarine should look once I cut it into this kite shape per the design. This design, A Flight of Blue, can be found in Jeff's book, More Money Cuts, Additional Designs, number 7. Unfortunately, this design is copyrighted, so I can't show you the cutting instructions. And I don't know all the places where you can find Jeff's books, but I do know that they're available from the lapidary supply store called The Rock Peddler. And if there are other sellers out there of Jeff's books and someone knows about them, please let us know. Please let us all know in the comments. We'd appreciate it. I finished preforming our aquamarine into a kite shape. I used the 320 grit topper. Because the stone is fairly small, I didn't need anything rougher than that. And then I went over just the initial facets that form the shape. I went over those again with the 600 grit topper. So now I'm ready to go over the facets again with my 12M, which is about a 1500 grit lap. And then we'll be ready to pre-polish our gemstone. Okay, I've pre-polished our aquamarine with 13,000 grit diamond on a bat lap, and I could polish it now with 60,000 grit diamond on a bat lap, but instead I'm going to take my crystallite tin lap out. I haven't used it in a while, and I'm going to use a Battstiks from Gearloose with high purity cerium oxide and polish it up with that. So this is one of the Battstiks. They make a cerium oxide, and then they make this one, which is a higher purity of cerium oxide. And so I'm going to use this Battstiks on my tin lap, and you just kind of use it like a Crayola crayon and kind of put it on the lap. And you need to use water. You need to keep the lap moist. It can't run it dry, so I'll use a water drip with it and polish our aquamarine. So Battstiks by John Rolfe at Gearloose come in cerium oxide, a new high purity cerium oxide, aluminum oxide, chrome oxide, zirconium oxide, and tin oxide. Now I use the cerium oxide or now the high purity cerium oxide and the aluminum oxide, but I have collected all the Battstiks so that at some point I do intend to experiment with the chrome, the zirconium, and the tin oxide Battstiks. And when I do, I'll let you all know what I think of them once I've worked at them for a while. By the way, I don't see the tin oxide Battstik on the Gearloose site at their shop anymore, but I do see it on some of the other lapidary supply outlets that carry Gearloose products, so I don't know what's going on with the tin oxide. Now, one of the advantages of using a Battstik, at least according to John, and I kind of agree, is that only a small amount of the oxide goes onto the lap. With some laps, if you put too much oxide on, if you really load up the lap, it causes scratching of the gemstone due to buildup on the oxide. Now for me, when I'm not using a Battstiks, I use a spray bottle with a water mixture and oxide, so I control the amount of oxide that goes into the spray bottle. So I haven't really had a problem with too much oxide, but these Battstiks are very convenient, and I will say that. The pavilion, or bottom half of our aquamarine, polished right up with cerium oxide on a tin lap. So now I'll transfer the stone and cut and polish the upper half of our aquamarine. Okay, the crown or the upper half of our aquamarine polished right up with my cerium oxide Battstick and tin lap. So now I'll set the stone up to cut and polish the table, and then we'll be finished with this gemstone. So the table polished right up with cerium oxide on my tin lap, and I haven't used my tin lap in a while, and I haven't used cerium oxide Battstiks in a while, so I thought I'd take them out, try them out, just so that all the tools in my toolbox I stay proficient with. So now we'll take the stone, soak it in acetone, weigh it, measure it, and send it off to BOPIE. Today I cut the final piece of aquamarine rough that I'd purchased as a part of a lot or a parcel of preformed aquamarine from Nigeria. I am happy to be finally done with that parcel of rough. And I don't recommend new cutters to buy rough by the lot or parcel. I'd recommend just buying individual pieces. I cut this piece of aquamarine into a kite-shaped design called Flight of Blue, which is one of the late Jeff Graham's gem faceting diagrams from his book, edition number 7, which all his editions come with a number of diagrams. This diagram and the book, of course, are copyrighted, so unfortunately, I can't show you the design. You have to buy the book to get the cutting instructions. I used my crystallite tin lap and also cerium oxide, high purity cerium oxide Battstick from Gearloose to polish this gemstone. I could have, of course, used 60,000 grit diamond on a bat lap, but I like to work with some of my other laps and other oxides, other techniques every once in a while, just to remain proficient, because in my experience, every once in a while you come across that one stubborn facet that just won't polish with your go-to lap no matter what you try. So in those instances, to me, it's good to have a backup lap or backup oxides, which can get the job done. But I just show you what I do and let you decide how to run your own gem cutting budget. So if you definitely don't need all the laps that I have, you can get by with less, but I have more fun with having all the laps I have, so it's up to you. The Flight of Blue design is not at all difficult to cut, but if you do have to cut the length and the width just right per the ratio that Jeff provides in the instructions, or you'll have problems getting all the other facets to line up properly. So please do let me know in the comments what you think of this design and of this aquamarine gemstone. And as always, happy fasting, everyone.